Hey yo, mic check, mic check. What's going on? What's up, my friends, my family, my fellow gamers? What's good? It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step two, step two. Now, what's up? I'm here bugging. I'm here bugging out and shit like that. I'm here, It's been a minute. How long it's been, man? Like a good 2 weeks or some shit? Good Lord, man. Sorry. I've been away for a minute. Work has been gotten me busy, been traveling a lot. And to be honest, anytime the little days I did have off, I've been spending it with my wife. We've been traveling or enjoying festivals and stuff like that, enjoying the weather, the warmer weather. You know what I'm saying? And then the few times been playing games as much as I can. But my hectic between traveling and stuff like that, work and stuff, has been hectic. So I didn't have time for doing anything. I know some of y'all see me talking shit on Twitter, but that's only because it's easily accessible. In between breaks or when I just don't want to listen at something, just go on Twitter and shoot the shit. But I haven't really got any downtime to myself, for a significant, amount of time and stuff. But it's good to be back. Um, it's good to be back. I know I've been slacking on improving my channel. That's one of the main reasons why I don't have a Patreon or anything like that. Because I know for a fact that I can't deliver on a consistent basis the content that y'all deserve. For something like that. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not even you. I probably will never do a Patreon. I prefer just this way, just create the content and let the channel grow within itself, and then just let the viewership and the people support, and rock out with me and stuff like that. And then I'll try to push out as much quality and grow. You know what I'm saying? No microtransactions on this channel. Right? This channel will not be games as a service. I'm tripping. I'm just bugging. I'm just bullshitting and stuff like that. I'm just here, just having a good time and stuff like that. But one thing again, as I mentioned before, a long time ago, what I ultimately want to do is, at least for now, is try to make this channel something similar to what like a radio station broadcast. You know how you drive in a car, or you pop a podcast or something live radio station, and you listen somebody live on the radio, and that they have like a call in number, and then you could call in and you could talk to the person live and stuff, make a quick comment or suggest something live with your voice and stuff like that. I know we have the super chat and we have the chat in there, and I appreciate the guys who support the super chat, but I know sometimes somebody, the you how can I put it? Sometimes reading the comments doesn't fully convey what the person really wants to say. You know what I mean? And I know people don't want to type in whole paragraphs, because usually a lot of people don't want to read a whole entire story. So I figure a quick call in, people be like, hey, shout me out. Hey, what's up, Podok? What's good? Hey, I have a question. Can you talk about that? Da, da, da? And then I could address it. And I think those things are still popular. And I don't see that as much on YouTube or in gaming. So I want to try to see if that could work out for other people and stuff like that. Um, Casey Cates. Well, let me first Caleb Kaiser. Thank you for the super chat. 2 weeks till we see Xbox True Hands at E3 2019. I would like to see 2 weeks till we see Microsoft's true hands. Because remember, a lot of people talking about Xbox E3. In reality, it's Microsoft gaming at E3. So if you notice Microsoft's tone, it's about the games and all the platforms that's going to be available for it. So it's really gaming for everybody. I know right now it's mostly PC and Xbox, but over time, over the next couple of years, you're going to see the platforms grow in numbers. Eventually you're going to see it on Android via xCloud, eventually iPhone. You could potentially see Mac desktops have native Microsoft games on it. And then, the world is open for wherever else Microsoft's vision on where they want to put their games on. Stuart Stokes, I just don't understand why instead of asking Xbox to simply do better, is PS has to do worse. Instead, I can't wrap my head around the mentality. We're going to talk about that. Man, my man Stuart Stokes already getting ahead of me, man. Can't you see I'm just trying to warm up and say hello to a few of y'all? Stuart Stokes is like, fuck that. Go for a first round knockout. 40 seconds like Tyson. We're gonna get to that, but we'll say. So Casey said the Den Show live on YouTube does that. The host is awesome. Can you do me a favor, Casey, on Twitter or in the DM? Can you post me the link to their show? I want to check it out to see how they do their format and stuff like that, because that's what I'm trying to do and stuff like that for the gaming community. Do something live. The hardest part is keep it consistent, because I know something like that, consistency is key, because everybody needs to know the exact time and the day of the week of when this happens, because I know everybody likes to tune in. I would like to do it at least twice a week. Shoot for like a Monday and a Thursday, and that people know on a consistent schedule. And that's what I'm trying to do it and stuff like that. But if you could hit me up in a DM with that link and show me this podcast, I would love to check it out. Appreciate it. What else we got over here? My man Top Dog 2K. Hey, P-Rock 77. What's good, Top Dog? Thanks for hitting me up here. I appreciate everybody here for coming through. Overdone, Lay, Steve. Appreciate it, JMK. I'm just going down the line. Simply. My man Jemiah was good. Casey. Is it Casey or Cassie? I think it's Cassie. Please forgive me for butchering names. I truly try not to disrespect. You know what I'm saying? So it's Cassie Cage, I'm assuming. She put the skull up there. Who else we got down here? Blackbeard, don't call me Danny, okay. The Nell Bat, Rizzy was good. Darren, Baltimore MVP was good. Roman Knight, Mega was good. Dinkin, Penguin, my man, Raphael, Almighty Spartan, Xbox got those games, Raphael, Xbox sucks ass. Oh shit. Triple JJJ. Oh shit. The Vel, Eddie Brock. You know what I'm saying? Christopher was good. Appreciated. Reunion was good. Cali Rex, what's up, man? Appreciate it. See your channel growing, Cali Rex. You keep doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? JP Loco, Kevin Mack, Antonio Suarez. What's up? Cloro Rids. Let's go. We go down. All right. We're going down. Eric, what's up? Mustached Eye, Smokes. Man, I see a lot of new names coming up in here. We're going down. Brown Sugar Candy, what's up, girl? All right, what's up? Appreciate it. We're down. Jerome. Damn, the names going on. El Matador. Holy cow, I'm gonna be here all day. Holy shit. Hey, everybody up in here. Over damn, already 91 watching. Damn, everybody's been waiting for me to come back. But I'm going to preach truth. And I appreciate you guys showing up. Carlos Fernandez, ¿cómo está? What's up to everybody out in there? I will say what the Big Cloud Gaming, what's up, man? See, your channel's blowing up too. God damn, man. It's good. I'm glad to see so much growth out there. You know what I'm saying? Tony Briscoe, everybody up in here. So I appreciate you rocking out. I appreciate it. And I hope you enjoyed the topic. Hit the like button. Retweet it out to your favorite social media platforms and prepare for some truth and all that. But anyway, so been out of the pocket, been traveling and stuff like that. But I still pay attention to, to gaming, to the crumb side, to the real side, to all sides, to the jokes, to the trolls, to the real conversations, to the fake conversations, to the people that know what they're talking about, to the dumbasses that pretty much just use up everybody's air. Stuart Stokes, take state of play. All I hear from bots is how bad it is, but we're still getting new games and release dates in 10-minute span. It's not an hour of nothing. Great point. Yo, Harry Heck was good. The Surge was good. The Vel, what's up? Yo, Stuart Stokes, great point. People comparing state of play with Inside Xbox, and I'm like, brah, like there's no comparison. State of play, fuck. You go to the bathroom, take a shit, bang it out, do your shit, wipe your ass, and get the fuck out, and you're done. It doesn't waste your time. Inside Xbox, yo, them motherfuckers try to take up your Saturday night and shit. Like you ain't got time, as if you ain't gonna go to the club and shit like that. Like, yo, I got stripper money to spend. Like, fuck is we doing here? You know what I'm saying? They extend the shit out of that show for no goddamn reason. I can't hate on State of Play. Granted, it's not the biggest, show. It's not the most flashiest. It's pretty simple, but that's good. You go in, show me 7 minutes shit, keep it moving. You don't even have to tune in because the last State of Play, I didn't even watch it live. Like, I caught up to it like 2 hours later. I'm like, oh shit, State of Play was like 2 hours ago. I just go in, look at it, 10 minutes, boom, okay, got it. Boom, got it, boom. Predator, cool. Raccoon, flying raccoon game, cool. Whatever, boom. And then that's it. It ain't something that's like you just sit there, drag on. You can knock out an episode of Game of Thrones fucking around with fucking Inside Xbox and shit. You know what I'm saying? So the two's not the same. I prefer the format of State of Play, just less talking, no interviews, none of that bullshit. Don't show me how this ancient instrument reflects in the game. Ain't nobody trying to hear none of that. Just whatever you're gonna show, just go directly into it. Boom, 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 and then close it out. You understand what I'm saying? Man, that's all it is. So that's how it is. All right, but here we go. We're gonna go into the topic because that's really what everybody wants to go into, right? We're gonna do it like this, right? And I know some people over on Twitter, but why you don't mention Xbox? And that's all gonna be addressed. I'm gonna tell you. All right. Topic of the day. Fanboys who hold PlayStation fails are no good for the industry. A lot of people talk a good game about competition, how competition is good for the industry, how we need these platforms for competition, yada, 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 but they don't really mean it, okay? Look at the terms that were created and are very dominant this gen. One and done, right? Very common in gaming now, one and done. Why do you think that term was created for? That's definitely not a pro gaming comment, right? Definitely not a pro gaming comment. Jap trash. Now keep in mind, gaming has been primarily a Japanese dominant market for the most part in terms of the products, the hardware, and a lot of developers that came out. Western developers slowly took over or now a big, huge part of gaming, right? But when you think of majority of the consoles that were created, they were primarily Japanese-driven consoles, especially the more popular ones, right? But it's not until this gen that the term Jap trash got coined. Keep in mind, Nintendo by themselves been around for how long? Hell, most of the people that use the word Jap trash wasn't even born when the Nintendo Entertainment System first released. They weren't even born. They were swimming in the dad's nutsack as sperm. Some of them are born only because their moms didn't decide to swallow. They took him in, you know what I'm saying? And hence they gave birth to them. But yet they use the term Jap trash. These terms are not pro gaming terms. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, when you look at the terms Jap trash and one and done, they technically can be applied to Nintendo. Do Nintendo not make one and done games? They're not a big multiplayer type of company, right? And are their games not Japanese from Japanese centric developers? But yet those terms are not used for Nintendo. You ever heard an Xbox dude go to a Nintendo dude and call Mario one and done? You ever heard anybody say Zelda is Jap trash? No. No, nobody says it for those games. Those terms are specifically for one platform and one platform only, PlayStation. Despite the fact that Nintendo technically makes one and done games, because Zelda, last time I don't remember Zelda has multiplayer. I don't remember Metroid having big multiplayer, right? But no one ever gives Nintendo flack on those games, right? And they're Japanese as Japanese gets. Let's be honest, right? But nobody uses that against them, right? And when I say nobody, I don't mean nobody, because PC gamers don't really use the term Jap trash and one and done. Let's be honest, it's not them, right? You don't hear hardcore PC gamers calling these games Jap trash and one and done. We all know who use those terms primarily. Those terms are primarily coined by one community and used by one community and is used directed towards one console. It's not towards gaming in general. You know, let's be honest. Okay, let's just keep it real. Right. So the hate with PlayStation, or to hope they fail. The hope of PlayStation failing and not failing to completely get out of the industry. That's not what they want. They don't want PlayStation to disappear. So what I mean by fail is not in those terms where they don't want PlayStation to exist. They want PlayStation to exist. They want PlayStation to still come out with their exclusives. What they don't want is PlayStation to be considered the number one platform. They want what they had last gen, where Xbox 360 for a lot of people was the primary platform, or at least be neck and neck, be a solid competitor, have a well balanced generation of powerful games where they could go toe to toe. They don't want this lopsided gen that they experienced. They don't want this lopsided, world that's been created. Right? So they hope for their failure is so that way Xbox or their preferred brand is on par or maybe a little bit better. And to me, that doesn't make sense. If you want stuff to be on par or your preferred brand to be better, why are you hoping for the failure, or you could say downgrade, of the other brand? Why aren't you hoping for your brand to do better or to taking cues from the brand that is doing it better and copy? Here's the thing. When Sony copies some of the best features from other companies, I never saw a problem in that. Some of the best ideas are the ones stolen. That's what you're supposed to do. If you see a competitor created something successful, you copy it. And then you can see if you can add some spice to make it better. These dudes don't see that shit. Here's the reality. The crumb side, YouTube commentators, social media commentators like myself and other channels, we actually don't create the scenarios where companies fail or succeed. All we do is take information and we either provide commentary that's reactionary to what we read, or we take information and make predictions on what we think is going to happen. That's all we do. We either react or we predict, but we don't cause what ultimately results in happening. Like, for example, when I said Xbox One X was not going to win November MPD when it launches simply because it was a new console, I didn't cause that to happen. I made a prediction that it wasn't going to happen based on information I read and used from the past. So I look at the past, I look at information, and I made a prediction. But PlayStation outselling Xbox in November 2017 wasn't because I made it happen. I didn't pull a Thanos and snap my fingers and said, let it, so it shall be written, so it shall be done. I didn't have control in that. I could have been wrong. I just made a prediction. Someone wrote the word speculation. That's all we do. We predict, we speculate, or we react, sometimes with dramatic flair, sometimes, like for example, when Scalebound got canceled and I flipped the fuck out, that's reaction. That's reaction to a reality that happened, or I make a prediction. That's all we do. The results of how a generation turns out, that's on the companies. They make the decisions that ultimately leads to the results. Right? When Sony did this gen, they didn't do anything illegal. They didn't do no insider espionage into Microsoft Corporation. They didn't do no weird shit that caused the issue with Microsoft. Sony looked at their product and they put the effort to market the product the best they can. They put the best effort to try to grab the best third party support in the way they're able to, whether it's timed exclusive, permanent exclusive, exclusive DLC, or even just simply exclusive marketing. Whatever they can do to make their product shine, that's what Sony did. You understand what I'm saying? All Sony did was, let's look at our product and how can we make it the best that we can be. And they looked at multiple ways. Partnering with third parties, looking at their first party to let them do what they got to do to make the best games. That's it. That's all they did. Right? They also looked at the weaknesses from their competition and took advantage of it. Right? Microsoft has the same resources, the same connections. There is nothing Sony has access to, maybe a little bit with Japanese relations. But I'm going to tell you, at the end of the day, the dollar trumps all. So if Microsoft really wanted more Japanese games, they could have fronted up some money. Ultimately, though, Microsoft has access to the same exact industry, to the same exact tool sets, to the same exact companies. They know the same people. Hell, they all friends with each other. Hell, Microsoft and Sony, damn guys know each other. They probably golf on the weekend. Phil probably goes golfing with Yoshida every time he visits Japan. Harry Heck, thank you for the super chat. God of War Spider-Man Detroit was trash before release by Xbox. No Xbox trash Days Gone before release. Then strangely review scores got trash, and Days Gone sales numbers makes me pull off an evil laugh. Yo, good comment. And we'll talk about Days Gone after the main point. But thank you for the super chat. Great points. All right. Good to be back, Harry. All right. So where was I? Phil probably knows everybody on the Sony staff, and they all probably go golf. They probably all go to functions, and they do rich stuff. Remember, they're the rich. They're the 1%ers. They do what they do. They all have access to that stuff. Okay? Now, I know some people are going to be like, well, people wish Microsoft fails too. Now, the thing about Microsoft is Microsoft has two faces in the industry. One, their first face, and their main face, the biggest face of them all, is their IT. They are bigger in the IT industry than they are in gaming. That's really what Microsoft's a $1 trillion company because of information technology. Windows, servers, Office, all that shit, right? That's how they started out. And within that group, that huge IT industry, there's a lot of people that hate Microsoft. Apple fans hate Microsoft. People like Mac over PC or the Windows OS, all that stuff. So we have to separate those guys out of the big equation because those guys could convolute the conversation because those guys just hate Microsoft no matter what they do. Zoom, Windows Phone, Xbox. If the name is Microsoft is on it, they don't like them. We have to remove that group. We have to focus on just the gamers, strictly for the gamers. Because if we include that group, it will convolute who we're really talking about. We just need to talk about gamers, not the people who care about technology, phones, TVs, just strictly gaming, all right? A lot of gamers, even the crumb side gamers, the biggest thing they address with Microsoft is Microsoft puts out shit games. That's the biggest narrative they try to create, right? Because ultimately what they want is Microsoft to come out with big bangers. That's really what everybody wants. Microsoft wants big games. So that's not an attitude of someone who wants gaming to fail. Again, PlayStation Nation, we just critique Microsoft games and we give an opinion on them for how they appear, for how we view, from reviews, how they look on streams. And many of us played the games and stuff like that. Ultimately, we just say a lot of these games suck or they're average. There's a few gems, but not enough. That's not the same as using terms as one and done and jab trash. That's not the same. You know, people who use the term one and done, they're pretty much saying any single player game has no value. So even the games that haven't even been created, if it gets announced as a single player game, it's already garbage because it's one and done. Or if it's a game made by a Japanese developer, it's already trash because it's Jap trash. That's hoping gaming fails. On the other side, what people want is Microsoft to stop creating trashy games. You know, when people look at Game Pass, people will say, "Oh, the value, the value." The reason why a lot of us don't like Game Pass is because we noticing, and this again, this is the outside looking in. We're noticing every game gets a free pass simply because you could play it for $1. If every game gets a free pass because you can play it for $1, then what incentive does any company have to make a big compelling game? If at the end of the day, everyone says, "Bro, why are you so concerned about it? It's just $1. Just give it a try." If that's the attitude if that's the attitude everybody has, what incentive are we going to get from playing some of the best big compelling games? If every game we give it a cop out of, well, it's only $1, it doesn't matter. You ever notice why phone games, when you look at them, they're pretty much, trashy? They're not very big. Phone gaming ain't really big in terms of providing the best content. It's because most of the phone games are free. So they get away with the shit they release. Because no one really judges a cell phone game because it's free. You can't really complain about a free game on a cell phone. You really don't have a leg to stand on. That's why if you look on phone games, they have some of the weirdest, crappiest games, but they're popular. Because again, at the end of the day, it's fun and it's free. So how much criticism can you have on that type of content? One of the biggest things I noticed, and I'm pretty sure you all noticed this, is, "Oh, I don't like that platform." And this goes for Xbox, really goes for any platform. "Oh, I don't like that platform because of the fan base. Oh my God, this fan base is so toxic. Ain't no way I'm ever gonna get that platform." Those statements make no sense to me. I can't wrap my head around it. It doesn't make sense on any level. I don't understand how a decision to buy a gaming console rests in the hands of people you don't know on social media. Blows my mind. Blows my mind. You know, I just don't know how that works. When a person says, "Oh, I'm not getting a PlayStation because the PlayStation fan base is toxic," you don't know any of these guys on Twitter. Same vice versa with Xbox and Nintendo. You don't know anybody on social media. So how does a gaming platform, if you call yourself a gamer, right, and you have the ability to buy the console, you have the money, but you choose not to get it, not on the merit of the platform and the games available on the platform, but on the merit of strangers that in reality, all you did was saw a couple of tweets on Twitter when you could just easily ignore it. That doesn't make sense for me in the realm of gaming. And to me, it falls in line with hoping to fail a product fails or hoping that a product fails, which again is not good for the industry. The reality is this: Sony has created, or how you could say, Sony, how they manage the PlayStation 4, and they managed it masterfully, has put them in a position where they're the most successful first party ever in gaming. The metrics that they accomplish, how they have their first party studios lined up, how many people they're attracting to their consoles, the relationship they establish in an environment where exclusive from third party is a rare thing, because most third party, they want their games to be multi-platform, has been masterful. Stuart Stokes, hell, Game Pass isn't even that impressive. They are taking the planned games with gold and put it on Game Pass and giving the gold for cheap indies. Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that. You know, to be honest, Games for Gold is kind of competing with Game Pass. So, like, if you put some amazing games on Gold, that kind of takes away from Game Pass. So that's a reality that people are going to have to accept. The biggest games won't be on Games for Gold. Or if the games that do go for gold, they'll probably go on gold long after they're already on Game Pass. So, but that's a reality of the situation. But back to what I was saying with PlayStation. What Sony did, obviously, masterfully, instead of these gamers at the very least recognizing, hey, I don't like PlayStation. I prefer Xbox. Got it. You know, you prefer what you prefer. It's a consumer product. Buy what you buy, right? But common sense should show what Sony did for their PlayStation, Microsoft needs to copy some of that playbook. Go after some third party deals. Actually create some real custom consoles that include the game, and the console is designed based off the game instead of these cheap, lazy bundles. And when you do go after the marketing, don't just simply go for marketing and say, hey, this game is marketed on this platform. Provide content specific to that platform. Show some separation from your competitors. You know, that's what they should have done throughout the gen. If their strategy wasn't that in the beginning, they should have quickly adapted to the environment that they were in and be like, okay, things are going sours. We need to grab some of these deals. We need to create custom consoles. We need to pay for exclusive content. We need to separate ourselves from the other platforms. We need to show unique identity. One of my favorite comments, one of my favorite points this gen is the whole ratio thing. Oh, 90% of gamers don't play PlayStation exclusives. 80% of this or that, this, that, and a third. Some of my favorite comments are those. As if those comments is a plus for Xbox. What people don't understand is this. I always said, and many of you who've been rocking out with me on this channel, when you heard this term, multiplats are community pussy. Everybody's tapping it. Ain't nobody in the projects gonna claim that as wifey. Anybody who does, people are gonna laugh at them. You know what I'm saying? Multiplats are community pussy. It is what it is. Everybody's hitting it. Ain't no one dude in the neighborhood better than the other from hitting community pussy. Ain't no one dude better than the other. Let you try to be the one trying to claim to people that you the Mac, and when the boys on the block be like, yo, where? Who you hitting? And then you mention her name, and motherfuckers be like, motherfucker, who isn't hitting that? You can't claim being a Mac when you're hitting community pussy. That's not how it works. And that's what they're doing. Multiplats is on everywhere. One generation, you may have the best console version. Another generation, you have the worst console version. PC always has the best version, unless the developer truly screwed it up, you know, in a blue moon. I mean, the language goes whatever. You might have the best version, but you have the less content. You might have the most content, but you have the worst version. You might have both the best version and the most content. You might not have any of the shit at all. You might have the less content and the worst version. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, everybody's playing the game. Everybody's, you know, at one point experiencing the game. You know what I'm saying? You know, somebody might have a 2080 Ti out there playing the same game I'm playing. That doesn't mean anything to me in my house because I'm not seeing them playing it. I'm playing with what I got in my house with the product I bought. But at the end of the day, still experiencing the same game. You know, some people are still playing games on the OG Xbox One. Doesn't matter if somebody else is playing on the Xbox One X. They're still playing the same game. And they both ultimately experience the same game. All right. Stuart Stokes, hell, the dollar Game Pass is a scam anyway. Since you can't cancel the subscription from the console. Wait, hold up. Let me make sure. This is Stuart Stokes. Again, hell, the dollar Game Pass is a scam anyway. Since you can't cancel subscription from the console, they're hoping they give up trying. True anti-consumerism. Well, I can't blame them on that because everybody does some shit like that. Anytime you sign up for a service, even on Amazon, like I may try for a free trial on another channel, right? And then I'm like, I'm not feeling this app or trial. Let me cancel it. I got to go on my fucking computer under my membership and I have to go through all these little fucking clicks and links to finally unsubscribe to the shit. You know, nobody's really making that shit easy. You know, it would be nice to cancel stuff as easy as you subscribe to it, but that's not how it works, you know. And what they really hope for is, hey, you subscribe to it and then you just forget about it. And the next thing you know, every month you've been paying for a subscription service that you don't even use. That's what they really hope. You know what I'm saying? What I'm gonna say this, I say that to say this. Microsoft, obviously, they changed their strategy. And on Twitter, there's conversations and stuff like that. But I firmly believe Microsoft's strategy, their new vision, is based on the fact that on the third generation of Xbox hardware, it did not do what was visioned to do. You know, the Xbox didn't fulfill the vision of what Microsoft set out when they first jumped into console gaming back in 2001. All right. And they realize they're not going to keep going another gen to fight for that vision. So they have a new vision. And I'm cool with it. I know I talk trash. You know, obviously, I talk trash because for whatever reason, it really gets people angry. It gets these Xbox dudes, you know, they get heated. That's what's funny. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I do it. You know, really, you know, I do the fuckery on Twitter. All about talking shit on Twitter. I have no problem talking shit. It's fun, whatever. But it's not like I'm being racist or any weird shit like that. I'm not attacking people's family or being racist. It's talking about a piece of plastic in games. Like nobody should be insulted over it. But for whatever reason, they feel like they got insulted. They get mad. That's what makes it funny, right? But in reality, Microsoft chose a vision. And there's nothing wrong with that vision. Do we console gamers wish that they didn't go by this vision? Of course. Because it's not like we have a lot of consoles to choose from. It's not like you look at the phone industry, right? And you got people who are really into phones. They got options for phones out the yin yang. It's not just iPhone and Samsung. They got HTC. They got all this stuff. You know, they got options out the yin yang in terms of hardware. You know, people who are into PC. You know, you can either build your own or you have all these options of pre-built PCs across all different companies. Tablets is the same thing. Got all these options and hardware's configurations for tablets. Console gaming, we don't. We got Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo. That's pretty much it, right? You know? So when one company decides to be like, hey, it's not going to be all about the console experience. We're going to share our experience among multiple devices. All right, cool. Got it. Consumer friendly. Everybody gets access, yada, yada, yada. Got it. Kumbaya. Got it. That's the decision y'all went with. But ultimately, for us who are into consoles, that kind of like taking away something that, you know, a competitive aspect within the realm. But it is what it is. Microsoft chose a way that they feel is going to be more successful than simply focusing on one device to provide gaming. They're going to rely on a lot of devices that's already available to many consumers and try to be successful in gaming via that route. The question is how far and how wide of a net they're going to cast. What other products are they going to include in this idea? You know, and I wish them the best luck. It is what it is. Of course, I'm still going to talk shit, but that's only because it's just trash talking. Again, like I said earlier, the comments from us commentators, content creators, social media influencers, whatever you want to call us, we don't actually dictate what ends up happening. We only react to the information we got, or we use the information to make a prediction. That's all we really do. But for those gamers who are wishing PlayStation to fail or fail enough so that way Xbox could be number one, do you really want Xbox to be number one that way? Do you want to say Xbox is better than PlayStation because PlayStation fucked up? Because Sony fucked up? Because Sony made bad decisions? Or do you want to say Xbox is the better console because Microsoft stepped up? They stepped up to the plate. They got back into the gym. And they created content that's some of the best shit out there. That's why I like exclusives. Because in reality, exclusives, while it's exclusive to the platform, it's not something that the gamer do not have access to. All you have to do is buy the platform that plays those games on. And over time, these platforms get cheaper. PC being possibly the most expensive out of the group, but even then, eventually, a certain configuration or certain hardware does eventually get cheaper, you know? So yeah, sure, a console launches at $500 and people be like, oh, I don't want to buy a $500 console. But eventually that console eventually goes down to 200. I mean, hell, during Black Friday, you were able to get a PlayStation 4 for $200 and a $50, GameStop gift card or something. So they become very affordable. The games become very affordable. Some of these games, they get down to like $10, $15. So console gaming does eventually get really cheap. Sure, at launch is expensive. So at launch, buy the product you prefer. Buy your preferred brand. Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox. Get what you want. Put the most money on what you're trying to back up. And then later on down the line, get the remaining platforms that are much cheaper. The games are cheaper because of the exclusives. And in the end, if these companies battle trying to outdo one another with the games, not with stupid features. I mean, sure, they're going to try to add features to make their product overall. That's cool. I got it. We live in a multimedia type environment. But if these companies always hold games as the number one de facto standard, as the number one method to compete with one another, if these companies look at each other and be like, we can make better games than you, we're going to have the Game of the Year winner over you. If these three companies look at each other and compete on that level, where they say, we have the better developers, we make the better games, we make the games people want. If they have that as a policy, as a saying, as a standard, as a belief, it's ultimately gamers that win, because we will have access to some of the best games that's been created by each of these companies, just for the fact that they're trying to do out one another. They're trying to tell other people we make better games than them any day of the week. I don't see how that's a loss for gamers. I don't see how gamers don't want that as a competitive edge. I don't see how gamers don't want companies to compete on the level of, we make better games than these guys. That is the ultimate feature or the ultimate reason of what makes these platforms amazing. The games. Again, we're called gamers. We don't call ourselves featurers. We call ourselves gamers. So how in any world we don't want that battle when Nintendo is trying to embarrass Sony by making the best iconic IPs and games, whereas Sony is trying to embarrass Microsoft and Nintendo by making some of the best game of the year, most talked about games, and how Microsoft is trying to create genre defining, you know, some of the most talked about games out there. That's good for gamers. Look back to the past when Halo was one of the most talked about games out there. Zelda, Mario, Uncharted when it first started, God of War. No one loses in reality. Sure, in the crumb side, we'll talk shit. Haha, God of War won game of the year over this game, whatever, you know. But when you step back out of social media, when you step back out of Twitter, no one loses. Even if you don't have the console now because you couldn't buy a $500 or $300 phone or console, it will get cheap eventually. And you will have access to these amazing games. I mean, think about it. The Xbox guys who talk shit about PlayStation, they ultimately gave in when Spider-Man came out, when God of War came out. Did they lose by getting a PlayStation for $200 and playing Spider-Man Horizon Dawn, God of War, and then soon Ghost of Tsushima? No, they didn't lose. They benefited from Sony trying to create the best games over. That's all true gamers are trying to say when we want the best, most iconic games out there. That's all. And with that, I'm going to end the live stream. Thank you very much for rocking out. I appreciate the support. Hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, do not forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more content. Oh, but before I go, Harry Heck, this Twitter Xbots are almost like people who have been paralyzed by shock, repeating the same lies over and over again while staring into emptiness. Well, hopefully, Harry, they grow out of it. Hopefully, they see truly what gaming is about. Sure, do the shit talking on Twitter. It's all fun. It's all jokes. Just keep all the harassment, keep all the racist bullshit out of it. There's no place for that. Stop talking about people's personal lives. There's no place for that. If you don't like the conversation, don't ask people why they're talking about it. Why don't they don't worry about what other people do. Just stay away from the conversation. Don't make it personal, because it isn't personal. It's a conversation about games and companies and plastic. You know? Hey, I hope everybody has a blessed day. Enjoy the rest of your week. And I'm out because I'm about to head up and continue on with Days Gone. I will, hopefully by the end of the week, post some of very good initial impressions, you know. But I'm going to let you know, love y'all all. Thank you for rocking out with the channel. And help me get to 5K subscribers up in this motherfucker. All right? Y'all have a blessed day. All right? Your only friend in these YouTube streets. Peace.